Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the June 5th, 2023 Kitty Hawk Town Council meeting to order, 6 o'clock p.m. in the Kitty Hawk Town Hall. Thank you all for joining us, those that are here tonight in person and those watching at home. We have a big meeting tonight with some important stuff to discuss, so you picked a good night to come. So if you would, if you're able to stand, please join us in a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Council, I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'll motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Motion made by Lynn, second.
Second.
Second by Charlotte. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Very good. Public comment. Lynn, do we have anyone sign up for public comment tonight, please? No, sir. Okay, is there anyone present that would like to speak tonight at public comment about any topic? Very good, thank you. Council, I need a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda, please.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
By Jeff, second.
Second.
Second by Lynn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We had no items removed from the consent agenda. 7, public hearings. The first one's a big one about our budget. Can I get a motion to go into a public hearing, Council?
So moved.
Moved by David, second.
Second.
Second by Charlotte. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're a public hearing regarding our fiscal year 23-24 budget. Melody?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. I am presenting to you tonight the proposed 23-24 town budget. Prior to getting to that, though, I thought it was a good idea to kind of review some of the accomplishments that we've had in 2022-23. And all of these things have been done above and beyond everybody doing their regular job. But townwide, we've completed Beachwise Renourishment Project. We filled 2 key positions, the Administrative Services Director and the Police Chief. We purchased the former Regional Medical Center. And we provided leadership, CPR, and Stop the Bleed training to staff and some members of the council. In the areas of administration and finance, we implemented a paperless timekeeping system, which has been extremely popular. We have established cloud-based scheduling system for the police department. We conducted a legal and purchasing contracting awareness presentation for town staff and council. We upgraded phone and computer system hardware townwide. In planning, we began an update of the rewrite of the Camden Use Plan, which is almost done now, I believe. We received approval for the 2023 North Carolina Resilient Coastal Communities Program. Staff began completing their incident command system training, which is for emergency management purposes. And Rob also completed the 2022 annual community service rating, community rating system certification, which gives property owners a discount on their flood insurance. In the world of fire, we completed construction of a training structure, and it's already in use for regular training events. A new fire truck was placed into service. The jet ski was placed into service. They have organizationally restructured to incorporate and integrate fire and ocean rescue as a team instead of 2 separate departments. They refurbished a storm truck, or oversaw the refurbishment of a storm truck. They implemented a fire officer task book, which is like a training program for their officers. They completed grants and the implementation of mobile and portable equipment in the amount of $147,000. In the police department, they have organized numerous community events, including the youth fishing tournament, the skateboarding workshop, and Shop with Public Safety. They have a new data system called the Flex Motorola program and an Axon camera system that was implemented as part of a Dare County-wide program. Sergeant Bard completed his FBI LEDA and received the Trilogy Award. Sergeant Kouskouras and Detective Rigler completed crime scene technology training. Sergeant Pooling completed North Carolina General Instructor School. And Officer Heckhouse became the department's hotline liaison for domestic abuse. In Public Works, they completed the Fire Access Road project. They also oversaw the cleaning of the canals and ditches of vegetative debris, which was 20,000 linear feet. They oversaw, Willie's a key player in overseeing the beach nourishment project. And then several of the staff members received their pesticide applicator licenses, and we have one who also received his commercial driver's license, which makes him possible to drive the big grapple truck. All right, so I think we had a lot of good accomplishments, and sometimes we think of ourselves as a quiet little town, but we do have a lot going on. So now let's talk about the 23-24 budget. The proposed revenues and expenses are balanced at $11,519,710. Budget highlights. First off, the way that we do this process, the town department heads go through and make requests. And I'm happy to say that this year we were able to honor all requests that were made. We use no unrestricted funds to balance the budget. We have a no property tax increase. We did not increase staffing. We have put a substantial amount of money aside in the capital reserve for future purchases. We are proposing a change in the vehicle retention policy. Currently, we have a retention policy of 10 years or 100,000 miles. Data indicates, and best practice indicates that that's too high, and it should be 8 years or 80,000 miles. So that's kind of going along in the budget. We've also established an emergency management line item to be used for safety and security and emergency incidents. And we were able to also have a contingency for unforeseen expenses, a small one. So let's talk about where we get our money. Actually, the majority of our funds come from occupancy tax, sales tax, which is a shared system with all the towns in Dare County. So we get $5.4 million from that line revenue. Property taxes bring in about $5.1 million. So those are by far our two main sources of revenue. As far as expenditures, you can see that $5.3 million is spent on public safety. So police and fire is our largest expense. General government is 3.1. We also spend $1.2 million on sanitation. So our general fund has 4 basic categories: personnel, departmental and operating expenses, capital purchases, and beach renourishment. So in personnel, we are proposing a 6.5% pay plan adjustment. This would give a 6.5% increase for all staff members. In addition to that, we are proposing a 1-step additional increase for police and fire, as they are the most market-sensitive positions, and we're always trying to stay in place with other towns around us. We had a good year with our health insurance plan, 3.99% increase in the premiums. We are getting a wellness bonus from our health insurance provider, and we will use that to cover the cost of an increase of employee portions. So I think this is the 3rd or 4th year that we have not had to have our employees pay more for their health insurance, which is wonderful. We have created 2 new job titles in Public Works. We're not adding FTEs, just job titles. We have the Public Works crew leader who will supervise the technicians, and then a Public Works technician 2, which kind of gives a career ladder for somebody who goes above and beyond, like getting their CDL, like getting their pesticide applicator, things like that. In the operating expenses, we are going to purchase the Laserfish document storage platform. This is a cloud-based system that we will use to scan town documents, and it will protect them forever, and it will be accessible by staff and by the public, and will be on our website as a link to get to any searchable thing that you want to search. We have established a townwide training and development budget. We are going to replace an ocean rescue vehicle. It's a 2012 Ford F-150. We are going to implement a floodplain management software system in the planning department. And we have in this budget to replace 3 police vehicles and purchase vehicle equipment and radios. We also have money in the current budget to repair some boardwalks and docks, to purchase crosswalk signs, to enter into a townwide HVAC contract, to explore trail and recreational opportunities within the town, and also to purchase self-contained breathing apparatus and other related fire equipment. So for capital reserve funding, this is money we are setting aside for future purchases. We are again setting aside money for more parks and recreational development, for the future sidewalk project that we expect for 2025, for additional boardwalk and dock repairs, we know that's ongoing, and also a future upgrade to the Public Works building. We also anticipate in the next year or 2 to have to replace the HVAC system at the fire department. We're going to eventually have to replace our dump trailer and our backhoe. We have to always have money saved for police radio replacement, police vehicle replacement, and we also have $200,000 going into the budget for replacement of a fire truck for the future. And then, of course, fire radio replacement and saving for the next land use plan. So those are our capital reserves. That's kind of going into our savings account. So beach renourishment, we continue to have a 3.5-cent tax on the part of the 30-cent town-wide tax to cover our beach nourishment project. Properties in the municipal service district continue to pay an additional 10 cents. And that is restricted for expenditures related specifically to beach nourishment. So this year we will have a transfer from our revenue to the beach nourishment fund of $227,000. It's also of note to talk about the police station fund. In April of 2023, Town Council voted to assign $2.5 million to the police department building fund. The fund already had $1.3 million in it, so the total available funding for this project is $3.856025. No additional funds from this budget went into that fund. That's what's already there. So, in conclusion, we believe the town remains in a strong financial position. Revenues and expenditures are balanced. No unrestricted funds are needed to balance the budget. And the town's emergency fund of $3.5 million is maintained. And we have no tax increase. Staff and I want to thank you guys for your support and your guidance and helping us carry out the work of the town. And now I'll stand for questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
On the crosswalk signs, isn't that something that you can get a grant from the tourism board for?
Maybe.
No.
And we budget for it, but if we can get a grant, we will do that.
Is that application time's coming up in the
Yes.
next couple months?
September. Yeah. And also the sidewalk project.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. but we want to be prepared just in case.
I understood, just want to make sure we submit an application for it.
Well, I heard two things I like,
Yeah, me too.
balanced budget and no tax increase.
Okay.
Love it.
Something
Yep.
I like
Yep.
was increased pay.
No, yeah, we like that too.
I know.
Council, any
Well
questions
deserved.
during the public hearing part for Melody? We'll go back into regular session for more discussion here in a minute. Charlotte? Jeff?
No.
Lynn? No. Anyone here tonight that would like to speak during this public hearing regarding our 2023, 2024 budget? Okay, is that it, Melody?
That's all I
All
have.
right, council, I need a motion to go out of public hearing back into regular session.
So moved.
Motion made by Lynn, second.
Second.
Second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, council, we're back in regular session regarding the budget. Any comments? First of all, town manager Liliana, department head, you have all done an outstanding job. An
We have.
outstanding job.
Amazing.
Very good. There are other towns that are around us that cannot say some things that Melody just said right there regarding no tax increase. So we are very fortunate. We've got good, capable staff on hand to take care of those things for us. The department heads, I was told, got your numbers in on time. That's very helpful, so thank you for that. David, any comments or questions?
I don't think so.
Lynn?
I have none.
Jeff?
Nope.
Charlotte?
I'm
Okay.
delighted.
Council, if there are no questions, I will entertain a motion regarding our next year fiscal budget.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adopt the fiscal year 2023, 2024 budget, capital improvements plan, and all other budget-related documents as presented.
Thank you, Jeff. We have a second
Second.
by Charlotte. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Great job, great job,
Thank you.
It's them.
great job.
Good job.
Okay, we've got another public hearing regarding a text amendment that I know David Hines is going to want to talk about. So do I have a motion to go back into public hearing?
So moved.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
This is regarding accessory dwelling unit. Rob?
All right, so this is kind of a two-part text amendment proposal. The first one deals with the definitions. Over the several times that accessory dwelling units have come before the planning board and council, somehow inadvertently we've ended up with two definitions for an accessory dwelling unit in the ordinance. So the first part just eliminates the duplicate definition and kind of takes the one part that was different from that and adds it to the other. So just kind of clarifying the definition. The second part is what kind of prompted this coming back to the council. It's proposing to remove section 42-528C, which states that accessory dwelling units shall not be served by a driveway separate from that serving the principal dwelling. Currently, we don't have any other restrictions on any lots having more than one driveway accessing their lot. If somebody wanted to have kind of a circular driveway with two curb cuts, they can do that as long as they meet lot coverage requirements. If they have a detached garage, they can have a separate driveway accessing that. But the way it's written here, if they added in a bedroom above the detached garage, even if it appeared the same from the outside, they would not be able to have that second driveway according to this. So eliminating that would kind of create some consistency because, like I said, this is the only situation where we don't allow somebody to have a second driveway. The planning board, they made two separate recommendations, so I kind of broke it out for council as well, just to try to avoid any confusion. They recommended approval of the change in the definition and denial of the proposal to remove section 42-528C. So they wanted to keep the restriction for the only one driveway. That's really all I've got for it.
And it looks like planning board broke it up. I know you got just to simplify matters for them, for us, for the public, is that right?
Yeah, so I put forward two separate, or suggested motions for the definition and then separate for the driveway part of it, so council can break it up as well, like the planning board did.
Okay. Council, any questions for Rob? David?
I just want to be clear, this conversation is not about accessory dwelling units as a whole. That is already there, right?
Right.
What we're talking about tonight is the fact that you can have two identical structures. If one is an home office over, I don't know, then you can do it. And if it's heated, you cannot. Is that correct?
If it's like a detached garage with a home office above it, you can have your separate driveway access.
Okay, so
But
let's
as soon as you put in a bedroom, then it's defined as a dwelling
Right.
unit. And
So let's use that same building footprint, call it a garage but an office, and that office becomes a bedroom, that's what changes it. But the actual building itself is the exact same. You can do it one way, but you can't do it the other.
Correct.
Right. So I just want to be clear that this isn't about accessory dwelling units anymore, it's about being fair to everybody to have the right to do what the next neighbor has the right to do. Right?
Sure.
It's
Okay.
what's behind the walls that we cannot see?
That's right. I just think it's unfair for somebody to have a home gym or an office above there, and they can have a driveway, but the moment you have a bedroom, you can't, right? I just don't think that's
And
right.
During like review, when people come in to apply for it, if they're saying that they're putting in a home office or a home gym, but their septic permit shows that they're adding, getting more occupancy for another bedroom, will kind of clue us in that, this is not just going to be the home office. So there's a way we can track it on our end as well.
I'm pretty sure there's some bills out there in Raleigh right now that's going to kind of tighten some of this stuff up for all of us to do it one way too. So just for when the time comes, which one of these motions again? Because that's happened last time.
I know, it was very,
So,
They broke it up, now you've got two different motions.
yeah, I got the motion. The first one just deals exclusively with the definition. So you can
Let's get
either
that out of
recommend
the
to
way.
approve or
Okay,
deny
got
the
it.
definition. And then the second one is the same. You can either approve or deny the change to 42-528.
All right,
So recommending approval to 42-528 would take out the restriction for the drive.
Got it.
Good question, David.
Okay,
Don't want to be back here in 90 days.
I got it. Let's do it.
Any questions?
No,
I do.
Charles?
I got a question.
he's got one.
All right.
Okay, Rob, in the beginning, when all this was brought to us, the idea of the ADUs were never really intended to be rental incomes. I mean, when all this started years ago, they were primarily supposed to be a mother-in-law, they've been called a bunch of different things. Then the Airbnb became popular, okay? In the very beginning, the reason that the driveways and all this was established was so that I don't mind my son driving through my driveway to get to his place, but I certainly wouldn't want every week different people or every night people driving through my yard to get to their place in my front yard or backyard or whatever. So really it was made as a deterrent for people to build these kind of structures for rentals, I feel. Okay, that's the reason I think put them behind the house and all the restrictions were put on this, I think because they didn't want them to end up like they're being used right now. That's just my personal belief. In the beginning, I knew we were going to have problems. I voted against it. We have had, I don't know how many times this has been back over and over and over. I don't have a problem with it. I think there's zones where these things would be more appropriate. I have a residential home. When I bought it, I was expecting another residential home. I wasn't expecting a rental income next to me. I don't have one. I'm just thinking about my neighbor if it was to happen to him. I think some of these rules were made, so it made it harder to rent them. And we were making them easier and easier and easier for people to turn a residential neighborhood into what I'm calling now everybody's got a rental income next to them. That means In residential, we have always talked about, in the zone and in the land use, we talk about density, okay? It's hard for me, when we have rental incomes next to residentials, to not say that that's increased density, it's increased trash, it's increased, where an accessory dwelling where your son might have been living there, or your mother, and you've got them another place, is what, I mean, the ADU, is what it was really, I think, intended for in the beginning. So I just, the driveway, David is absolutely right. They're putting gravel up to the road, they're crushing the edge of the road, he's right. But I feel like it was fouled up from day one. I just want to get that out there. And that's all I had.
And I appreciate that, and that's one of the reasons I've said before, I wasn't here when that vote was given on sitting on council for accessory dwelling units. Whether I would have supported it then or not supported it, we have it, and I just wanted it to be fair for everybody, that's all. That's all I'm asking. I don't know how I would have voted for it had I been sitting up here.
Right.
So, but
All right, good conversation. Remember, we're still in public hearing here, folks. Any good questions? Very good conversation, very good questions.
And to your point, I think when it was first discussed, we were talking more, like, 4 family members to live in. I guess the state or the courts have kind of limited how much we can regulate, like Airbnbs. We can, if that is a concern, we can classify short-term rentals as a land use, and you can restrict, where short-term rentals are and are not permitted. Referring to the legislation that David was talking about, if it goes through the way it's written, Airbnbs are going to be, or not Airbnbs, but accessory dwelling units are going to be permitted everywhere that single-family residences are permitted.
I think including multifamily, correct, of some sort?
Right, if it's zoned, if single-family residences are allowed in the zoning district, then accessory dwelling units will be allowed there too by this proposed legislation. And there's a couple of parts in there too that we might be back here to adjust our ordinance to make it line up with the state too.
At least we can park.
All right, I'll discuss that after we get out. Any more questions during public hearing? Is anyone here tonight would like to speak or ask questions during this public hearing regarding accessory dwelling units or the motions that we've talked about? Very good, thank you. Council, I need a motion to go out of public hearing back into regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by David, second by Lynn. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Rob, if these motions pass, do you think that'll relieve some of your headaches that you've had since we passed it the last time?
A few.
Make things a little simpler for you?
Oh, yeah.
And for the public?
Yes.
And for the public.
I do, now that we're out of public, I will say though that the trends are already starting to show that especially on the west side properties, you're going to see the Airbnbs really starting to slow down, and people are already starting to put them back into year-round living. I can name 14 right now. So that trend is kind of starting to die off. Now, if you're in between the highways, it's a different story, but west side properties, it's already heading that way.
Very good, good point, David. Any further questions? Lynn?
I have none. Thank you.
Okay. Jeff, any more conversation? Charlotte?
No.
I don't have any. So let's address the definition of accessory dwelling unit first. Is that how you want to do it, Rob?
Sure.
Okay, can I have a motion regarding that?
So moved.
Move made by David.
Second.
Second by Lynn. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so now I need a motion or a denial regarding the second driveway is what we're talking about here. Excuse me, the second motion we're talking about.
So moving to approve it would strike it from the ordinance.
Correct.
To be clear.
Correct. Different from what it is right now.
That
You
was
still
the
need
easy
to-
way out.
Are we asking for a motion on,
We got a second item in front of us we need to approve or deny
okay, so,
because it was broken into two separate.
right, so If that's the case, the first one needs to be denied as a whole, or just read off the second motion if that's what you want, right?
If you recommend, or if you move to deny it, then you're keeping it in place. You're keeping the driveway restriction in place.
Okay, so I'm gonna read off from the second one. Is that correct? If I want to,
The one that starts, I move to approve the proposed text amendment 42-528.
Correct.
At the bottom of page 3.
Yep,
all right, so I'll make a motion.
okay.
I'll
David,
second it.
second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, we've got 3 in favor, 2 opposed. Jeff and Charlotte, we got a 3-2 vote. Thank you, council. Very good. Maybe we'll put that to rest here for a while.
Until Riley gets
Rob
involved.
wishes I
Yeah,
knew.
I mean, might as well
Okay.
do it now instead of later.
New business, Deals Architects, item 8A. Melody?
Yes, a while back, Dills Architects was selected by a staff committee as the most qualified applicant for design and oversight of the police station renovation project. Based on the current scope of work, you've received a revised proposal from Dills for your review. It is the recommendation of the staff to move forward with Dills Architects for architectural design services and construction oversight of the police station project, with the total contract price for these services being $354,453.
Is that it, Melody?
That's all I
Thank you.
have.
Thank you, Melody. Let's start with Charlotte. Any questions, comments?
No.
Jeff?
I do not.
Okay. Lynn?
I do not.
David?
Just one little small one. So if you look at their proposal, they still have a pretty good amount of money in there for site work. The bottom line is, as we move through this project, what we don't use, we don't spend, clearly.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
As long as that's the case, I'm good.
Correct.
That's
Okay.
just, this estimate, this pricing is just an estimate.
Right.
All right. No further discussion. Council, I'll need a motion regarding item 8A.
I'll make a motion to approve the staff recommendation to execute the contract with Dills Architects for architectural design and oversight of construction services and utilize $354,453 from Fund 41.
Thank you, Lynn. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Charlotte. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay. Item 8B, resolution authorizing exchange of property for our EMS station and fire bay that we have discussed for a good while. Melody?
So, a while back, Dare County proposed a property exchange for 2 town-owned lots located at 4907 and 4911 Putter Lane. Each lot was appraised in December for $230,000. Dare County would use those lots to construct a much-needed EMS station on the northern part of our area. In consideration for the exchange of the lots, Dare County proposed that they would construct a fire bay for town use. The size of the proposed bay is 1,026 square feet, and it is an approximate construction cost of $651,510. For your consideration tonight, you have the proposed property exchange resolution and a proposed lease agreement with Dare County with a 40-year term. And that's all.
David, I want to thank you for catching the 40-year lease. That's the way it should have been the whole time.
I believe it was half that to start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
thank
just
you.
Standard.
It was.
Standard
That was-
language that, we can notify with this, you're gonna get notified, so we'll just double it up.
Good catch, David, and good thinking there. Council, David, any questions for Melody, discussion? Lynn? Jeff? Charlotte? I don't have anything. Council, I need a motion regarding item 8B.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing the property exchange with Dare County and enter into a lease agreement for a constructed fire bay.
Thank you, Jeff. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Charlotte. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Great job, great job. 8C, we need to make some appointments, reappointments to the planning board. And just John Richardson, Jim Garrity, and Chuck Heath have all expressed interest to return as sitting members, voting members, and Matt Spencer has also asked to stay on as a alternate in that position. So do I have any motions to appoint or reappoint? Let's start with the first one.
I make a motion to reappoint Chuck Heath, Jim Garrity, and let's see, John Richardson as regular members of the planning board with a term of office to expire June the 30th, 2025.
Thank you, Jeff.
Second.
Second by Charlotte. Are there any further recommendations? If not, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Very good. Okay, and now we need to reappoint or appoint a position to the alternate member on the planning board. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to reappoint Matt Spencer as an alternate on the planning board with a term of office to expire June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Second by Charlotte. Are there any further nominations? Okay, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, we have to reappoint the chairman and vice chairman on the planning board. Any motions? I'll make the motion to reappoint John Richardson as chairman, Brian Parker as vice chairman of the planning board for a one-year term.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Jeff. Are there any further nominations? Very good. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you, council. Town manager report comments. Good God, we got a lot, don't we? Been doing a lot.
Yeah, so I'm actually happy to announce that the town has completed a lease agreement with Beach Medical Center to lease out 3 of our office suites at 5200 North Croatan Highway. Zoe Sherman, the owner of Beach Medical, is here. I'm putting her on the spot. But we are so excited to have a medical provider on our property, and we hope to have her in there no later than December. So we're excited.
Very good.
On Monday, June the 26th at 9 a.m., we're going to have our summer Monday with the Mayor session. That we encourage public to attend. We'll be talking about topics and budgets and things as they relate to what's going on in the town. And then just a reminder that the July Town Council meeting is going to be on the second Monday in July, July 10th, due to the 4th of July holiday. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Melody.
Thank you.
Don't get out of here before we talk about that.
Okay.
It's your turn. Okay, Mr. Starkey Sharp, thank you for joining us tonight. Any comments?
Casey's got a stomach bug and asked me if I could come in. I enjoy seeing y'all, but he didn't give me anything to tell you, so it's good to see y'all again.
Very good. Thank you for coming. Always a pleasure, sir. Town Council, if I could start off on this. During tonight's consent agenda, we approved a proclamation. First of all, I'd like to, a huge thank you to Jeff Pruitt, Charlotte Walker, and Lynn Morris, and we've talked more about that lately, regarding a good friend of this town. His official name is Clarence A. Dusty Rhodes III. Everybody knows him as Dusty Rhodes. Let me tell you a little bit about Dusty Rhodes. Currently serving on the planning board, was appointed from the Recreation Committee to the Planning Board. He was very instrumental in Heritage Day 2005-2009, was co-chair of the Kitty Hawk Folk Life Heritage Waterman Committee. Very passionate about, as this man right here is, very passionate about the old-time Kitty Hawk. And we all feel that way. Again, Dusty's having some tough times. Our prayers and thoughts need to be with Dusty his friends and family at this time, and I know everyone in this room and those watching at home will join me in that. Got a proclamation here that we approved earlier, but I'd like to read it for council. I think this is so important. Proclamation of Clarence A. Dusty Rhodes III, an honorary town council member. I don't know that this has ever been done before. First time. Awesome, just wonderful. Whereas Clarence A. Dusty Rhodes III has been a faithful and engaged citizen for many years in the town of Kitty Hawk, and whereas Dusty was an integral part of the Heritage Day Festival Committee, served on the Recreation Committee, and is currently serving on the Planning Board, and whereas the town council has long felt his respect and commitment for the governing body of Kitty Hawk, and now therefore in appreciation of his dedicated service and support, I, Craig Garris, Mayor of the town of Kitty Hawk, proclaim Clarence A. Dusty Rhodes III an honorary member of the Kitty Hawk Town Council. Again, this is the first time. Jeff and Charlotte worked extremely hard on this past Friday. He was sworn in as an honorary council member by Lynn Morris. Jeff, I'll let you take it and discuss some more. Then I've got some more to talk about here.
Well, yeah, we met over at Dusty's, and it was a great gathering. I'd like to thank former Mayor Gary and former Mayor Clifton Perry for showing up and helping us honors Dusty's achievements he's done for our town. I made a joke when I was there. He would always leave a card on my windshield and call me. It's very important, please. And I would think it was something bad, and it was just something about the town. But he took it. He took it to heart. He really did. And one heck of a planning board member. And once again, and a great friend. I just want to thank Charlotte. Thank you very much, Lynn. I really appreciate it. That was very, very nice.
Charlotte, you were there also. Any
It was a
comments?
happy day. It wasn't a sad day. It was a happy day. And everybody there was genuine and kind and there for all the right reasons. And it was a good day.
Dusty's the type, Jeff just mentioned it. I could meet Dusty at the post office and he's shaking my hand and thanking me, but it soon turned into conversations. If it's something he didn't like, he's going to tell you what was on his mind, and I always liked that, and I always thanked him for doing that. So thank y'all. That was just an awesome, wonderful thing to do. Just wonderful. Department heads. First of all, Zoe, congratulations, welcome. We're excited, as I know you are, from the first trip you made in there. I was there, so it's been a while. I know you were thinking, what's taking them so long? Government moves slow, as you know, so it takes a while. But thank you. We are super excited. Again, the budget. An outstanding job on the budget. I cannot.
Amazing.
I have not heard
Amazing.
anything. We've all, I saw Charlotte the other day. Charlotte, you okay with the budget? Yeah, everything's good. And Jeff, yeah, everything's good. So no complaints. Y'all did an outstanding job. Again, Melody, Liliana, all the staff worked so hard to get your numbers, your reports in. Thank you so much.
They did it's a great job.
Great job.
I just stand there and talk about it. They do all the work.
And it's your first one, so you started out good.
I did. Let's hope that we'll keep that going.
Remember that, next year, remember that, okay?
Yeah.
And summer is here. The beach has not been very enjoyable for families here lately, but I know I saw the lifeguards out there putting up the flags and standing out there just in case. They were there just in case to watch how things are going. So we thank all the town employees. It's going to be a busy summer, I know, so thank you all. David?
I don't have anything other than I'd like to thank Jeff and Charlotte and Lynn for doing that for Dusty Rhodes. I
Yeah.
think that was fantastic.
Fantastic.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. Lynn?
Also, I thank you guys for taking care of that. And yes, summer is here. So when it warms up, I'm sure things will be a lot livelier out there, but I have noticed big difference in traffic and everything else. Be safe this summer.
Yep. Jeff?
Yeah, I got quite a few here. All right. First, I'd really like to welcome Zoe. I just left your office. I didn't know if I was going to be here. Man, your staff was so great to my mother today. Anyway, thank your staff and welcome. That was a long way down there with the traffic. I can't wait for you to get to Kitty Hawk. I'd also, you know, we've been through a lot with this police department. It has really been, it's been a lot of work and a lot of back and forth. First of all, I'd like to thank staff and everybody for putting up with me. Then I'm gonna move on. Second, I want to thank David Hines. David has done a fantastic job helping us in what he does and to helping guide me, I'm not sure about anybody else, me, in trying to make a very good decision for the town. I'd just like to thank David for all your very good advice, David. I'd also like to thank Charlotte Lynn again for being there with Dusty, and that's all I have.
Charlotte?
Well, I have a member of the Recreation Committee that his daughter competed on Saturday in the state AA soccer tournament, and they won. And I would like to say congratulations to Lizzie Mance, and her parents, I know, are proud as they can be too. So I just wanted to pass that along, and she's a Kitty Hawk girl. So that's about all I have.
Very good.
Except it filled my heart on Friday.
We can tell. Thank you, thank you. Council, I'd like to thank you. We've accomplished a lot tonight. And again, a lot of hard work, not only by staff, but you guys too, behind the scenes and so forth. Thank you. This has been a big night. And I was looking forward to this night for a while now. I told Millie this morning, I can't wait till the meeting starts. So this has been a great night. Any further conversation?
No, sir.
I had, when I was elected to this board, one of my priorities was payroll. And I thank you so much for looking after that and making that happen.
You got to look out for your employees. You're right, Charlotte.
Absolutely.
That's our best asset.
Yep. Anything else, council? All right, I need a motion to adjourn, council.
So moved.
Motion. Second by Lynn. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.